Generation Zero is becoming oversaturated with mediocrity melded on a half-finished foundation. According to the trailer, this update is a huge step and brings in a lot of content and lore. Oh, if you all only knew. After I released the Generation Zero 2020 content review, I was able to join the beta testers for Generation Zero, which has been nice so far. Having played the beta versions, it's been a little frustrating having to wait so long to be able to publicly talk about it. But I did sign the NDA. Anyway, let me break down what's been added. Craftable experimental ammo types and medkits, horde mode, and base building. In a vacuum, these things aren't inherently bad. But after watching this trailer, I realized that GC was trying to make it seem that the content that's coming is really big and impactful. I mean, they even marked that GC now takes place in 1990. However, if you came into this update hoping for lore and depth, then you will be severely disappointed. Like usual, you find a letter written by NPC, this time Elsa, from the hotel gang in Hinfjell. Without the main character, they have decided to build a new home base for the Resistance. This is understandable because people who have not played Alpine Unrest would be confused. Though, just like Phoenix Rising, the letter is making fun of the game's cheesy and generic writing by making fun of them naming the group the Resistance. I mean, the whole letter's writing feels like,
how do you do, fellow kids?
And it doesn't have much of a personality. GC has a lack of good and realistic characterization. Good guys are the typical Resistance personality, and Phoenix is just acting like a fucking baby who shat on the floor and is complaining that the parents are at fault. Now, that does sound like an extremely harsh thing for me to say, that they don't feel realistic. My point is that the characters take the most generic and cheesy traits and make those traits their personality. So when all of their dialogue and characterization is their most predictable thing ever, then it's really hard to care for anything, especially when things happen off screen. But okay, our mission is to blow up a Phoenix base and make it a Resistance home base. Something doesn't sound right here, but okay. I do not understand the logic here, but okay. We will save it for later. Okay, we get to the location of the C4. Of course, we found out that the people who was supposed to do it are of course dead. So it's up to us now. After picking up the C4, we go to the Phoenix base, and we find the base. Searchlights are still useless. Fine, let us get this over with. Hang the fuck on! Are you fucking kidding me? There is an alarm. You have searchlights. Phoenix Base has been around for a year and you still haven't given them functionality, but you made a goddamn fucking alarm sound instead? Okay. Okay, I get it. Maybe corners had to be cut for the big entrance of the home base. Let's calm down and blow this Phoenix base up. Goddamn motherfucking shit. Kan de inte bara ha gjort någonting? Och jag vet inte gjort så att fucking jävla monstertrucken bara kom hit! Varför säger jag monstertruck? Det är bara en jävla vanlig truck. Det är inte så fucking svårt att bara köra den för i helvetes jävla mög. Okay. I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed. Okay, not true. I'm both mad and disappointed. Like, I don't even know what to say, and I beta tested this a month ago. I still can't believe how fucking lazy this is. Like the truck, all of the equipment, it just appears. How? How was this a home base? How did the truck just get here? Who drove it? Where's the fucking Alpine gang? Wasn't everyone supposed to be here? Is this game seriously trying to make you believe that some random truck with some random walls around it is a home base? And there's nothing here that suggests it. We can't build anything that isn't just normal fucking defenses. The game, and worst of all the motherfucking trailers made it seem like it's a big fucking deal by the pull a fast one. I don't want to accuse them of false advertising, but I want someone to look me straight in the eyes and tell me that the truck is where everyone is. I mean, where else are there? No, wait, let me guess. The motherfucking Alpine gang is waiting in the warmth of the fucking hotel, while my guy is fucking making Phoenix bases and trucks magically appear. You're a wizard, player protagonist. I mean, come on, guys, this is just sad and pathetic. I can't take the small dev team as an excuse for the initial post-vanilla content, but no, I can't take the promises of initial rollout or we will fix it later mentality. You have to earn that, and you haven't. This game's foundation is a giant sinkhole. Instead of fixing it properly, you're just adding small grains of sand, giving the false illusion that something is done about it, when in reality it's just fuskbygge, and fuskbygge is not very okay. I think the best way to describe GC now is mediocrity and oversaturation. Features and content is released to the bare minimum function, like prestige point and crafting, with the promises of fixing it later. The major problem is that it does more harm than good, cause it's gonna pile up and eventually it's gonna become a mess and be harder to fix later. The story, which was the major selling point of GC, is getting the lazy treatment. And unfortunately, as much as I want the story to be reworked, it's never gonna happen. Rivals, the Reaper, the daily, weekly FM tell what the fuck it is station, and weapon packs are presenting major plot elements, yet they barely have any lore in the game. They are not properly presented. The Reaper had a good in-world tease in 4.4, but it did not bring that hype over when it's just another grinding and RNG session. It's just the same thing we have before. The new ammo and medkits are nice additions, but they don't solve or fix anything. They make you OP as fuck, but there's nothing to challenge that. I do not count the Reaper because it's not a good boss. It's just a bullet sponge with annoying mechanics like that giant area on effect attack and shields. The game needs diversity in what we play and interact with, not with how we make guns go brrrr. By the way, guess how to get those new ammo medkits? Yep, the Horde mission. If you're a player who just play GC as a time waster and don't give a shit about lore, then you're probably gonna be happy with this. But for people who cares for lore and consistency, then you'll not find it here. There's nothing wrong with having them rewards for the Horde mission. Sometimes games must put gameplay and fun over realism and logic, which is perfectly fine, but GC is not justifying those decisions. The game has a problem with loot never making sense to where it comes from. Why do machines or the external forces carry good rewards? Where's the source, and why hasn't that source been used to kill Phoenix already? One will up asking questions about the consistency. The game is yet again setting up and introducing plot elements, but of course it's wasting them. Now, before you label me as a hater, blah blah blah, then let me say that everything here is cool. The idea, the concepts are cool, but they're not giving proper treatment within the game. You're not giving them proper context, and context is very fucking important to a story. Because when you just set something up like GC that is supposed to be plot heavy, then you cannot just start introducing new things half done. It's not consistent. I do not understand Generation Zero's business model at all. What is supposed to have the most diversity in quality? Free or paid content? Because I don't know. Paid content is just as cheap in price as quality, and free content is just stuff with slightly new coat of paint. It slightly alters the game, but in a way that oversaturates its broken foundation than fixing it. The game has been out for 2 years. I was okay with waiting that long for the really big and meaty content drops. But this isn't okay. The trailer made it seem that GC received an update with content quality and effort, but it was just really hype. And unfortunately, it cannot deliver on that hype that the game created for itself. I understand that the team is small, however, the we will fix it later mentality isn't bearing any fruit right now. But okay, I'll give the update one positive thing. I like the revamps, or at least the parts I've seen. Before, I was a bit afraid that it would be still copy and paste building with destruction, but this is a step in the right direction, with some buildings looking like they have been looted, some have been reworked to fit something else, but this is a step in the right direction, with buildings looking like they were looted but not overly destroyed, and there's some places where it looks like the Resistance has been to. You'll occasionally find two of the same stores in the same area sometimes, but it isn't all that bad. If you left GC a while ago and you want to come back, well, this update might be for you, but probably only for a couple of hours. The lack of depth, variety, and lore is really disappointing. It doesn't feel like a content update that was given enough time and resources. Yeah, sure, it is free for current players, but people who buy the game after the updates goes live, this is part of the paid game. While it does technically add value, it feels cheap, lazy, and bare bones. If they update the home base and give it some more love with the intro mission and just make it more home-based than random truck with walls, then it could be good. But honestly, I hate the fix it later mentality. For early access, it is fine, because at least you know the deal. But for a game that was advertised as something completed, no. False promises that lead to nothing is honestly not very epic. The home base will most likely get improved on later, but I would have preferred something that was finished. Generation Zero will doubtedly never pull a No Man's Sky that a whole lot of people think, apparently. I wanted to, but it took the game 2 years to prove that it can't. Oh yeah, by the way, the Soviet pack is also out. My feelings are more or less the same as the US pack. Fucking shit. Not having the game in lore or missions is lazy, considering how important it is to the story. But hey, our guy just found them off screen, hang on. Why didn't you just make that a mission?